Yeah.
Yay!
Hello everyone, it is me, Yukon. Hello! I exist. I have Wario mustache. Welcome to SGDC. Today, normal SGDC, we're gonna showcase the house's stuff. We got a bunch of juicy progress for y'all, so yeah, we can get into it. Alright. Wait, just
press escape.
okay. There we go. Yay! Alright. First is Brian.
Cool. So, I thought I'd do a kind of free introduction. The topic is, who is your daddy and what does he do? I am your daddy and this is what I do. I do audio design, voiceover, and music. That's my face. Let's just play it. It's 5 minutes long. This is a sound design, voiceover, and music reel, basically. The music playing underneath is my music that I've made over the years as well. Some of the music is completely mismatching to the visual. A lot of these animation sets are from the game Broken Alliance for combat units. The name of this music track that I made is called Dance of Dragons. This music was for a flying theme from a classic RPG. That's the only reason why I picked this for this bird thing. So very cheerful for the content. This was like a cyberpunk theme. That's why I chose it. Next up, some voiceover.
Please, won't you come in and warm yourselves by my fire?
I came for the seance, of course.
Music underneath is a remix of Deltarune.
And only staying a
Noel's
few
theme.
nights.
A few of our more lively inmates have taken it upon themselves to explore the facility. Those who flagrantly disregard the rules shall do so at their own peril.
Who? Where? Me? I'm Herbert. You know, sort of like a herb. Don't stare too much. It'll make your eyes pop right out of your face.
I imagine it's something rather mundane. I've heard it suggested it might be heterochromia. That was a rare rock mammoth. I've been tracking the creature for months. If you help me study it, I'll make it worth your while. You can't lose any money this way. All I ask is to feed up a little bit of your reputation.
You took on the wrong dwarf. Ate steel.
I always believed that Turbo was a hero. Now, I realize that he's a fraud.
You were my idol, man. How could you do this to our city?
Get back, city rats! This land is ours and will not be defiled. Run back down the mountain or feel our wrath. You have the nerve to condemn others, Ornia, leader of a band of murderous marauders who burn our forests and loot our lands.
We not eat him, but we still rip his entrails open. If you not stop.
This last bit is from Quarter 1996, which came out a month ago that I did the music for. It's out on Steam, you should buy it. It's a very cozy game. Also at the beginning was Craft, you should buy that. It's also a cozy game. But yeah, check them out on Steam. Nearly done. My favorite games. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions? Yeah, Jordan?
I'm curious about the sound effects.
Yep.
Do you usually do everything digital, or sometimes do you record like real sound for piano and stuff?
I will admit, at the beginning of for a lot of the sounds that was for Broken Alliance, the pixel art stuff. At the beginning, I was doing more physical recordings. But honestly, as time went on, I relied more and more on libraries and other things that I had to get the job done quicker, because recording bespoke things in the studio is very time consuming, because you have to record the sounds, then edit the sounds, then organize the sounds. And I found that I got lazy, which I think a lot of people who are working do get like that. But if they're working for bigger companies, they might have someone dedicated to just recording those things and then somebody else dedicated to sound designing. I just got lazy. Yeah, Victor?
Favorite game composer?
It's between Toby Fox and Uematsu. Uematsu from Final Fantasy. Shit, I don't know. All time Uematsu, I would say, but I really like Toby Fox's stuff more recently. His use of leitmotif, which is, for anybody who doesn't know, that's character theme melodies and all things associated with emotions that he reuses and reuses. Admittedly, I think he reuses a lot of stuff because it's just it's an easy thing to do, but it really lends a lot of more interest to the story and helps foreshadow things. That was more than what you asked, but I have a habit of answering more. Any other questions? Cool, thank you.
All right, Jordan.
There will be a lot of video. So, my name is Jordan. I am a C and assembly programmer, and yeah, this will be my weekly recap. So, I made a kind of virtual team. So, we are now kind of complete because we missed a composer. So now we are free and we try to make a game together. So our name is Greyhole because we mainly do grayscale game, and yeah, we sleep basically not too much. So yeah, so there is Yoki, Tomoko, and me. And so this week we try to polish previous game, and also all ongoing game we had. We try to kind of finish them for this week. So it was the goal until the end. So yeah, so we start with a game. So this one you already know it, but on this one we change the music and we correct a couple of art. So yeah, so this game is because I was making like all my itch.io page, etc. So this game was the first I put on itch because it was basically everything, and I was like, okay, this week we rework every game and we put one by one on itch.io. And also this game we're trying like to make like a Steam page, etc. just to know how it works. So when they will validate everything, it will normally be on Steam. And yeah, so this was the second game we rework. It's kind of Endless Runner. So it was for a game jam, but we also rework like the art, etc. and the music. Yeah, those games are the game we are currently like reworking, and normally it should be done for like maximum tomorrow night. So this one is actually this one was for the game jam this weekend. It's a rhythm game, but with every key on the keyboard from A to Z. For it. So yeah, this one is getting more work like for the UI, for also like the visibility, for the feedback on the hit and stuff. This one was an idea we had, I think with Mauricio, Nate, Martin, Kiki, because we were playing a game on itch.io and it was kind of cool because it was a bit of complexity. So we decided to do like a game more complex with, basically it's like you need to understand what you are doing. You need to kind of try and retry each time to figure out what's going on and how to basically unseal the coffin. Yeah, there is always a 2-slide or 3-slide story each time at the beginning. So basically you lost everything, and the pet you had also kind of died. So you were like, okay, screw this, I'm gonna steal a grimoire, and I'm gonna try to revive my pet. But since you don't know how to do like resurrection spell, you will need like to figure out what kind of spirit it is, how to handle, etc. So you got different measurement stuff, and also there is the crafting part and the gaffering part to it. Those two follow are my game. I made like, when it's grayscale, basically it's with my team, and also I make game jam game on my side. So it's mainly like 1-bit style, black and white. So this one is still in rework until tomorrow. It's for, basically it's just a puzzle. You need like to figure out how the shape of the level is. You need to remember it and just try to beat like the high score for it. So this one I need to do like more level for it. And this one also normally tomorrow night it's done. It's this one is more like, because like Danny wanted like basically a game that is hard, so it's handless like crawler. You got 1024 room to go, and you got bullet hell, spikes, enemies that follow you, and you got just 5 life forever. I mean, you can recover some, but yeah. The music is not the music for the game, it's the music I was listening on Spotify. So yeah, I was making my own engine, and I was using first like fake 2D and stuff, fake 3D. So this one is like using like 3D matrix and stuff, and yeah. So I didn't touch it really a lot, but I was watching like Mecha anime, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna do something fun with it. So question. Yes.
How do you choose which engine to use when making a game?
If I work with my team, I'm gonna use like Game Maker, but if it's for me like in one Vista, I'm just gonna use C and SDL3.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
How are you, if you get all 6 games somehow in place for playtest, how are you going to manage to actually have all of those games? So you're just gonna get people to bring their own devices?
No, I'm doing like a kind of, you know, you select basically a cartridge to play the game. It will be like this. So what game you want to play? This one, okay. So like this, I'm done. My goal is like, yeah, I want like before the weekend to like every ongoing project is done, so I can just like focus on really something else for it. Yes?
How do you manage when to work on what?
This is why I'm finishing the ongoing thing, because like I want to with the other person on my team, we want basically to like when we get a cool idea to just do it for like 1 or 2 weeks, and yeah, and for me it's like okay, and when I want to do my game jam, I will just do my 1-bit style, etc. Right. No question. Thanks.
Next is me, bro.
Start putting timers on it.
Ours is super.
That last one was longer than 5 minutes.
Ours is super quick. Don't worry. So, where's dungeon progress? Woo. So before we get into the video, there's a new woman, drop.
Haunted bride.
And then we finally added rizzing and recruiting. So let me just put this. So you can use certain attacks and that will generate courage. So you can see on the top left you have your health and then your courage bar. And once that fills, You can also see that on the bottom left, the background changes, and then now you unlock flirting. So you can do different flirts. Some will fail, some won't. This is a success. So after you finish, they get recruited and added to your party. So yeah, finally, main mechanic. And that's it. Any questions? Yeah.
Can you say at the moment what purpose the party members serve, like within yet, or do you know yet?
Yeah, so
she's bad at fighting, so she needs the help of like other girls to do the fighting for her, like them getting jealous and then like fighting for her because she's just really bad right now. That's like not balanced and like very easy, but like.
But you can see
in the
like
future,
her main attack's Wimpy Punch. She's not good at it. So once you recruit them, they will help fight in other battles. But we just got in recruiting, so that'll probably be next week. What's up?
How does Turning Point fit into all this?
He doesn't. Well, wait.
I added one thing, and it's very subtle, and it's literally this little snail right there. That's it. And that's all. So.
Yep. It's not it.
No.
Sorry. This is what you choose.
Ash.
How many more weeks are left in the jam?
I think one more month.
Okay.
And we're not going to finish it. We're going to do a demo, and then we will finish it after. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea about the end goal of the game?
Yeah, so we're probably thinking, we don't have a set number of floors yet. We want to see how like long it takes us to actually make a floor and like a set of monster girls. But essentially what we want to do is there's like a few themed floors. So the first one's like normal ass dungeon, and then it's like, what are some of the ideas we had?
I don't know if we had it. Well, we could do like a swampy area or like
Yeah.
a haunted mansion or
Just like different themed, and then the monster girls will like fit into that. We were thinking even like there was a law office like halfway through it because lawyers are scary. And so you go down until you eventually hit the bottom where you fight your evil ex for your estrogen.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
and then there'll be like a PC somewhere, so like as you go down you'll be able to like collect and swap out your team, and you know it's Pokemon.
yeah,
I guess.
kind of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many women will there be in this game?
A lot, probably.
I wrote down for this section, I think 6. I don't know if I should spoil, but they're all supposed to be themed just scary stuff. Like, ooze is scary, haunted bride, bees, spider, lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just kind of doing it as we go. But we have lists of,
Yeah.
so.
What else?
Did you plan on maybe like a side idea or something like voiceover for them? Not for the demo, but like maybe when you will work like.
Not yet, but that's an interesting point. We'll definitely think about it.
I had an idea.
Anyone else? Cool.
I guess it's a question in the chat. Any lawyer bees?
Any lawyer bees?
That's a funny idea.
That is a funny idea. She'll sting you with a suit and her actual stinger.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thank you.
That's all.
And that's with you, Mauricio.
Hello. Did we share it? Oh yeah, we did. Okay. We done it. Yeah, yeah. We finally get to work on this game again. Yay! So for what I've been doing is really just so hard to show. It's just editing everything. Yay! It's about like all I needed really was like 3 days of free time from my other stuff to actually edit everything that was important in the game. So that's cool, but it's really hard to show. It doesn't include like minor dialogues yet, which is like examination labels and the responses from when people like reply to your topic question stuff. But the big thing we did was last weekend, and I felt like after we were doing our edits with like mystery genre type stuff, that we were actually kind of losing some of the sense of gravity from our main character. And I was like, okay, this is the last big thing that needs to be solved. So to fix it, I made us do something very tedious but cool, which was make a list of every sequence of the game organized into little arcs, which are like as simple as like how he needs to get the door open to how he opened the door. You know, like just make it stupid if it needs to be stupid. And for each of those arcs, it describes what changed about like what is his goal, because his goal is the player's goal. So it's like this helps me just like, okay, what is the present moment? What is the immediate moment that is immersing the player in this character? And finally, for each one, I also made this list what was fun, cool, or interesting, aka the hooks, about experiencing it, which can be as simple as it has a cool picture in it, or there's a fun little sequence that happens, or the idea is cool, that sort of thing. And this practice was reused from our jam game experience, which was like really useful. So yeah, cool that helped.
I did more screens, I did more things. So one example is this, the phone cutout. So these will pop up whenever Howie is like calling someone, whenever dialogue is presented, the little phone thing shakes, and that was fun to make. More sequences. So for example, like there are some VN sections, like the camera will like zoom in on them, the background will blur a little, they keep talking, there's little like camera changes to emphasize that, well, Howie has the wallet in his thing. Just little things like that. Also unlock, so that's a topic unlock, that's a profile unlock, and that's an area unlock. So just making things to signal to the player, you know, you've done this, yay.
This was me, and I literally did today, but sometimes the backgrounds will change throughout the story, and this is just a simple expression of that. It's just to like, hey, sometimes this is a world with people living in it, things change, and like that changes examination labels and stuff like that, but it's just fun.
Also, the TV screens in the game now have furries instead of humans because someone in a Discord with 20k people on it sent this like human and furry visual novel jump scare, and that left me emotionally traumatized, and I changed it.
The boring stuff, what's left, it's mostly just visual polish because the game is pretty much exactly what it needs to be in terms of content. So it's just like all the things on this list. I need to finish more final backgrounds because that actually affects some of the things that I'm writing and editing. So it's like that's kind of important. I have to do that next. We have all these little things that we have to do, UI to do, menus to do. There's one last thing I need to write that's still, and that's just like the pitch mechanic at the end. It's mostly written. I just need to finish it. And I need to make more sprite expressions and poses for everybody, and then we have to put those in. And it's all just like we have these little like CG cutscene sequences, visual gags that we want to do, but we have to make pictures for those. We haven't done that yet. And yeah, try not to die. Questions? Andres.
Sorry. Whoa. Why was the word Amiga in the...
It's Whodunit for the Amiga. You only need 3,000 Amigas to run Whodunit.
Yeah. Is that true?
No.
No, I wish.
We don't want.
We have one.
Yeah, we need 2,999
more. We're so bad.
You're saying there's an Amiga port?
No.
No feedback.
No feedback.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Hey, Andrea.
So this is gonna have to be way faster than I'm used to. So sorry if it turns breakneck. I'm just not used to this speed. So So it's just going to be me. I usually do about not us for the last 3.5 years. And my goal with this presentation is to make myself more approachable, whether I need it or not, I don't know. Yeah, so 5-week anniversary this week at Spelkollektivet, sort of unbroken chain. And I think this might be my first real reintroduction. So once every 5 years, I guess I'll introduce myself. And the thing is, this is actually sort of the point of it all. It is my dreams come true. But I'll get to that first. Next year I will be 50 years old. I'm still holding the record, and I assume if I keep living here, I will just hold on to that record. So yeah. I don't know why I bring this up, but basically just like trying to place me in your timelines, because none of your timelines is back here, but this will also sort of be important for why I'm here and how I feel about this place. So yeah, so basically my whole life I've been hobby dev, never really made a commercial game. Started on the Commodore 64 computer because that had books with it. So me and my friend just sort of cracked open the books like nerds instead of, I don't know, hanging out with other people. We were just in his room starting to make our own games. Whoa, sorry. So yeah, we did. As I remember it, we basically didn't show it to anyone else. We play tested them. We had those faces on us. And we were just 100% about the development, not the playing. Okay, oh, sorry. So yeah, so in the 80s, I was totally playing games and all that stuff, and making my own games. But in the 90s, I was supposed to, like in the mid 90s, I was supposed to go to college. And at this point in time, it just seemed like the 80s were the so-called bedroom coder games, plus some more professional ones, but it was totally a thing you could do. And then in the 90s, everybody was just talking about the technological advancement and how you're going to need bigger and bigger teams. So I felt like when I started college, everybody was saying like, yeah, at least 30 people to make a game. And I was like, that's not going to work for me for several reasons. And as I say here, like I was just very obsessed with supporting myself. I basically was like, I'm gonna die before I'm 30 if this keeps going. And as I say there, I would eventually be diagnosed with some stuff that sort of explained why I ended up in a bad situation. And being quirky and special is cute, and then you go to fucking weird. Basically, every person you meet start using that word, weird. And that worried me even more. So now I was worried about supporting myself, and I was worried about fitting into society. That's not a good combo. Yeah, so things were bad. And I became obsessed with becoming normal. It was actually one of my first mature special interests. I was actually playing a normal person. But that actually, these days, helps a lot, especially being around here, to know that just sort of where's the level. It's just that my normality level can go way lower with you freaks, which I really appreciate. So in 2010, Minecraft Alpha came out and blew my mind. The game was fine. It's like, oh yeah, everybody knows this is a great game. But what I just got stuck on was like, is this just one, like the website when you went to it, it was just not saying like, here's my new thing, try it out, you know, a little bit like we do here. So I was like, this reminds me of my childhood when we just made games and showed them to each other. And I visited them and had a talk. And basically I already knew going in that looking at Minecraft, like I'm stuck in the 90s. That's when I last made games. But just seeing them sit there in their office with their comfy couches and their vintage consoles that they were playing, they said that for Fridays we just play games and have fun. That's when it sort of started realizing that something like, I didn't know the word Spelkollektivet, but I was basically thinking a house where everybody who is like me just basically cooperates and tries to help each other make this a thing, that you don't have to become a normal adult if you don't want to, hopefully. Yeah, so I just loved the interview was more like one-sided in that I tried to ask them question about how did you get into making games, blah, 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 you know, what's your favorite games, all that stuff. So yeah, this left a mark though. It wasn't too late. Maybe I don't have to live a shit life. And again, I didn't know who you were, but I knew this place was maybe out there, or at least possible. So I quit my stuff, I sold my stuff. I managed to collect a college degree and started making games. So that now I was sort of caught up technologically, at least to become an indie. And yeah, it was a bad time still, and shit didn't go. It was not what's it called? It was not a straight path. But my dad, who was very worried for me, saw Spelkollektivet on TV. So it's really great that James does interview for the like state-sponsored television, because my dad is riveted. So he basically started saying, "It's just a house full of yous. Like all these people I see on TV, that's you. Like they keep saying stuff." And I was like, "I don't think so." Because these people, if they are game devs, they shouldn't be hanging out with me because I suck. But then finally, he made me at least talk to James. And James, as all of you know, he has a killer pitch. Basically, start dispelling all my stupid fake ideas. And I actually thought this could work. So 3 weeks was sort of how much I could imagine going somewhere with people. But I just never left. So that was mid-2020. And yeah, pretty much this is the reason, that bottom line. I have friends and I make games every day. So, why would that stop? That's just stupid. So, reintroduction. It starts. Hi, I'm Andreas. I'm a mess, but I like making games, so that counts. And I can code, sort of. But I also dabble in pixel art, sound effects, and visual effects. And that's because I've been encouraged by people around here who just, get you past that. No, I can't. And people just say, go. And I went. And I find out that I like it. I'm working on a game called Not Us. I guess I'm just skipping that for now. I'll do that some other time. I can be weird, but it's very important to remember I am friendly. I might seem grumpy. I have chronic headaches and all that stuff, but I will never bite your head off. Ask around, you'll see. I like vintage gaming. It's a big surprise, considering how old I am. But I have lots of hardware, computers, consoles, and stuff. Again, you can approach me, or there's a thread in Discord for this. I love dogs, and have a dog you can try. Okay, we're doing a good time, I think. I grew up there, down by the coast, so that helped coming here, because I visited twice before I moved here, scouting. Social media makes me uncomfortable, that's the whole thing. And I used to run 80s, 90s Good Bad Movie Club for years around here, because I liked being a dictator, telling people what to watch, because people don't understand how good bad movies are, how great they are. But now that's the current movie night where I'm sort of a neutral arbiter. I actually perceive myself as an ugly cave troll, which might explain sometimes why I talk about myself the way I do, but that's also a different point. I actually literally wish I could be outdoors at all times. Some of you have seen me work on the terrace. That's like not a joke or ironically. I really just want outside air. But otherwise, my favorite room is the run room, more so than my own rooms. And I work better. I have higher productivity. The games are just flying off the shelf when there's gaming parties, and especially karaoke makes me really like the code is just flowing. It's true. Ask anyone who has seen me at karaoke nights. And yeah, because this is an introduction, favorite movies. All of them, I think, is from the 80s, 90s, except one, I know. But giant fighting robots, that's just awesome. That's sort of 80s. And here's my favorite games. And that's it. I'm so sorry about the time.
I kept that in the midst of my own time.
Thank you.
I've been here for 5 years.
Yeah, stuck him up. Questions? Yes.
How many more years would you say you'd like to do?
I think, just as a matter of principle, I feel like I should do something else eventually, but I just don't see the point. So until I find the point, until I find a reason, I don't see why, like this. Is there something else called the happiest place on earth? That's Disneyland, right? So they can go fuck themselves. This is the happiest place on earth. Yes, bro.
Favorite hardware/console or whatever?
I mean, it's the Amiga 500. And it's so good that I actually highly recommend people to come watch a documentary about the Amiga, the inception, like why it came to be and how it works and all that stuff. There's so many surprises there for people, like stuff you don't really know yet about the Amiga 500 that you should know. It's awesome. Yes. Good. Thank you.
All right, Joanna. I think I said that right. Woo. Did I say that right? I'm sorry.
It's Johanna.
No. Sorry.
That's okay. There's a phone here. And this. Am I in the picture?
You are in the picture.
Yes.
Is all of my face?
Can't see your chin. But
No, wait. There?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Hello, I'm Johanna, and I work on Frog-like. It's out in early access, and right now we are updating once a month. We recently changed from doing every other week to once a month to give us some more time to work on bigger updates. And the latest update that came out not yesterday but the Wednesday before was the 0.4.0 update that added Frog's story. So the game is what is it called? Like a bullet hell kind of game, like Vampire Survivors, but with frogs, and you eat bugs instead of killing monsters. And the game also has stories that you play through. So one run is 5 chapters, and some of those chapters make stories. And last week I added Frog's story, which is about all the power-ups we have in the game. So there are some special effects ones, some that level all the bugs up and level all the bugs down. There's a super frog power-up, a party power-up, and a goop power-up that collect all the stuff on the map. And here is the first chapter in the story, where you can see there's a lot of party hats and some lore about it's a frog remembering back to when frog came to the pond and it became frog-like. So that's when all the power-ups appeared and the colored tongues and stuff like that. And yeah, then it can look like this. There is a bunch of little party frogs coming to eat a bunch of bugs, and also more party hats to collect, so you can eat them. Yeah, you eat the hats too. Anyway, our next update is it's gonna be something I right now call the chapter book. It's sort of a collection of all the chapters we have in the game. And yeah, it's a list of all the chapters. It has info about each chapter if you haven't played it before. It shows some new info that we haven't shown before. Because people have been, one person has been asking for more detailed completion rate. Like they wanted to know, did I play all the chapters with all the frogs? Which I don't recommend. That's a lot of time to spend on this game. And also it's good for if you have played the game previously and then you take a break and then you come back and you don't remember your favorite chapter. So hopefully this will help. And it will also help you connect the chapters together in storylines. So this week I have been designing that, and I've been doing first a lot of notes and used the drawing mock-ups of how it could look, and like I collected lists of all the info that we could display, all the info that we have, and other things I just need to do. And then I went into Sprite and mocked up a spread in this collection book where you would get all this info. So it's the info that we already have in the game, which is the title, the description, what things you can find on the ground in the chapter, what collectibles and power-ups you can find. And then I added sections for which frog has read this chapter, some info about the environment, and there will be some info about what bugs will appear. And also a list of all the chapters in this story. So if you have completed the story, you can see which chapters come before and after. And there will also be a table of contents in the book, and here I just tried a bunch of different styles for it, and then I iterated, and I'm gonna go with something like this, I think. Yeah, and then I also then needed a new main menu because I find it hard to fit another big button in here that would say chapters, so I did a sketch of making the buttons into books instead and adding chapters like this. So that also has to be made in Unity, and then I started to implement it in Unity. And let's see, didn't get very far, but I put some chapters into the list of all the chapters. I had to make some new scriptable objects and stuff. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm gonna turn off your music. So I just have a temporary button for the chapters, and then it will appear like this. And then you will be able to click the entry, and it will just take you to the information about that chapter, and it will have buttons up here on the sides where you can just flip back and forth or go back to the table of contents. And I've been testing it with our different fonts, which is good. No, I'm almost done. So it works with the different fonts, and next I'm gonna add the functionality to actually add all the pages and all the info and stuff. There's a lot left to do. And back to my slides. Questions?
First up, I swear I didn't set a 5-second timer after you muted my music. It was a 5-minute timer. Secondly, the frog story. So the purpose of the story is to seek out all the power-ups. It sounds like, from what you said, does that mean Frog is like some kind of adrenaline junkie?
I don't know. Well, it's more of Frog remembering back to the
the wild days.
The days before Frog, where there wasn't power-ups and effects and tongues in different colors. There were still multiple tongues, but they didn't have multiple colors. And it's sort of a throwback. And then it was I call the event Frog, and then it was when Frog came. It started with the party hat bug that brought a bunch of friends, and then there was the power up bug that made all the bugs stronger, and then it builds up to now. Yeah.
Is it in a way some kind of meta for how the game has developed through early access?
No.
At the very beginning, where the things were simpler and you didn't have power.
I mean, when we did release the game in early access, we did not have the power-ups, so I guess it's a throwback to 0.0 something. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Nanda.
Where did Discord go? Oh, there. Okay. Go. Yeah, I'm Nanda, I'm making Abyss of Kings, and I have level editor updates from last time. So, first of all, I fixed the serialization, so there's an undo redo now, which was very annoying to do, and I'm very glad that's over with. I'll just put that away. Next up, I added generation for the normals, because even though the game is monochrome, I really want to have the normals for the lighting. And there you can both bake them and let everything load, or there's a hot reload option, which is kind of tanks my laptop a bit, so that's optional. I did a little axis tool, so you can snap to the cardinal directions, and you can also pan across the plane like that. Yeah, letting that play. What I've also been working on is vertex colors, so you can just paint them on to like blend between textures. That pretty much shows it. And this is it in action with some triplanar textures on there. And yeah, there's actually not so much to say about it. It was mostly just figuring out how to store everything and make it run smoothly. So now I actually have like the entire like vertex color per voxel. I have to do it in the voxel so it's persistent, and I can store every color as one byte instead of a whole color thing, and kind of just works now. Here you can see it in game with some lighting that circles around. Yeah. And what's next? I'm experimenting right now with doing the vertex colors for the actual like grid voxel tool. Like I have the terrain and I have the like blocky Minecrafty voxels. That's a lot simpler because I don't have so many vertices there, but it's more for like a little extra flair to like blend textures over each other or something. And also I want to redo the normal calculations because right now you can see like the triangles on the shadows, and that looks really ugly to me. But yeah, oh yeah, and there's one last thing I'm gonna do, which is add my encounter creator to where you can like place all the chess pieces into my level editor, so I can like smoothly transition and just like add a chessboard and edit the encounter and stuff. Yeah, that's it. Any questions, Jordan?
On the first couple of videos you showed before, it was more linear for the level. Are you doing the level editor for having something less linear, or it will be like still semi going from point A to point B?
It will be like semi-linear, I think. So you have like an area and you can explore and have like different encounters. But then when you go to the next area, that's linear. So it's like cutoff points. Yes, Sam?
How do you generate the collision data? Is it different to the mesh data?
No, I just put a mesh collider on there and used the same mesh. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it.
Art?
Hello, I've got an update for Bug Game, kind of. Me. We're doing the same PowerPoint. Wow. This is the third time I've talked about Bug Game. That's crazy. I have chosen a name for it because it's too. We don't have enough time to be sitting around and thinking about it. So I've decided to call this game Intentional Bugs, and the 2-sentence pitch is: you have a desktop enclosure, the bugs that live in your computer. You can observe, interact, and identify these funny little creatures, and then share these discoveries with your friends. We'll figure out together what exactly that will mean, because I'm still figuring it out too. So what the game looks like is very similar, but also somewhat different. We've got new bugs. We've got a new window. We've got bugs that generate on their own, and they pop up in the world, and they have little things on them, and it's like, wow, look at them go. Which isn't a huge crazy difference, but there's been a lot of back-end stuff in the sense of like clicking and things like that. Yeah, new bug type. There's a little thing that I've been calling a scuttler. It has a little bit of a different movement pattern that I will make more apparent and flesh out, but the fact that is that there's on the back end, it is a different bug. And it does different things than this little guy. I've also tried to give them eyes to make them cuter and rounder so that they're hopefully a little less spooky looking. But these are by no means finalized. But anyway, that's what's James. I thought a lot about timelines. So in 5 weeks, I want there to be a full feature prototype of all of the features. Wow, cool, that's gonna be crazy. In 11 weeks, there'll be a live demo on Steam. That also will be pretty fucking crazy. Because 12 weeks is Steam Next Fest. What? That's impossible. So that in 16 weeks, the week of November 10th, there'll be a full release. I'm sure this will work perfectly and there'll be no problems and it'll go smoothly and without any issues. So with that knowledge, instead of going through the full timeline, I'm just going to talk about what I'm going to do next week. I'm focusing on interacting with the bugs, and the most tangible thing is giving them food. You'll have like a little button on the console that you pop up a little food bag, which you can pull a little piece of deliciousness out of, and then bugs who like that, because some bugs will have different preferences of different food types. But maybe that's probably going to get cut. But they'll see it and they'll come running towards you, and so you can attract bugs of different types if you know what they like, and get to feed them and have them be like wahoo and happy about it. That'll be next week, and you'll get to play it, but not tomorrow. My question for the week for people to answer in either Discord or come find me is, what type of things do you think a computer bug would want to eat? But there's also, I'm open for questions currently.
Will there be a light mode for people that have a dark background?
I'm thinking of having there be like, well, I don't really have a picture, mimicking an old Game Boy where you would maybe be able to turn on a backlight and it would put on some kind of like filter behind it if people want to have the see-through thing and play it on their desktop, or if they want to have that contrast. I think that it's going to be a mode I'll have toggleable, but that is a good thing. V.
Is the food source going to be infinite, or are you going to have to do something to get more food for your bugs?
I'm going to sit, I want it to be a incentive to collect things, and but that whole item collection thing is sitting on the maybe doesn't happen category. So I'm going to implement infinite food, and then if I am able to fit in some kind of collectible resource or some kind of thing that the bugs maybe generate or something, then yeah, they'll be hopefully limited to, maybe having a higher rarity of food maybe makes them happier, and maybe happier bug does something. But, that's somebody who doesn't have to worry about timelines to think about.
Did you think about joining the Halloween Game Jam just before the end of the schedule?
We'll see. We'll see where it's at. I'd love to, because game jams make me happy. And I'd like to think that by that time I'm feature complete and just, getting all the other funny things done of like smaller bugs and menus, but we're hoping.
Are you thinking also about spaces cohabitation? Like maybe some spaces that don't want to be like more closer, so you may manage to put them away or something.
That'd be interesting to be able to put put up fences to be like, you guys get to chill out over here. Maybe I'll see if there's a desire for that. Yes, Dorian.
Yeah, what are the things that you managed to get out of the project or put in the backlog and you never did?
I think the biggest thing was the player's intentional creature generation bit. I was thinking of having there be like resources you could collect in order to try and make like the perfect creature that you want. But then I realized I think I want people to share what they find more, so I'm wanting to implement. I had a pretty low priority thing that I was like, that's just going to be too much work and not really be as big of an impact for the game, of having a password system of if you get a bug that you find, because I still want these to be procedurally generated to some degree, but you have a bug that you find and you're relatively fond of, maybe you'll be able to name it and kind of keep it in a log. And I'm thinking once you get to like max level or something like that, you'll get the opportunity to generate a password. and then you can send that to your friend, and when they input it, it'll pop up a baby version of the bug, but it has your name on it. So you kind of get to like say, this is my bug. I discovered it. It's mine, and you can share it to people. And I'm hoping that helps it gain traction too for a more of a social thing that does not require you to make accounts. And I'm gonna try really hard to make sure that there's no arbitrary code input from the password system. But we'll see how that works. Okay, cool.
There's a question in chat.
Oh.
Will you be able to romance the bugs?
You can do whatever you want. I'm not gonna tell you what they do and don't say. The bugs, I will have zero text will ever come for the bugs. So if the little hearts they give you, you feel like mean something more, I can't tell you how to live your life. I won't say that's gonna be on the page anywhere, but you can do whatever you want forever. Yeah.
Riz Dungeon crossover one.
Sure, just tell me what asset you need. I've got a lot of bug ideas that I haven't actually done anything about, but thank you for.
All right, other Andreas.
As I'm super duper prepared, I just sent myself more stuff to show. So I'm gonna give a little update on my project, Nether Spirits. So first of all, we added some cool new features, for example the attack poses. So now when you punch your boss, then we actually go in front like in Darkest Dungeon, and then we have like an attack animation. It's really, we've been crunching on that feature for the last month-ish, but I think now we start to have the first things in. Because next week on Thursday, we are gonna release our first ever public demo-ish thing, like we call it playtest / prototype, because our game, our USP is like, we have co-op and we have PvP, and with the playtest next week, you will not be able to play co-op, you'll not be able to play PvP, because we are just first basically focusing on the single player campaign. It works, co-op and PvP, and but I just don't have the confidence in the dedicated server right now that it can handle X amount of players. And because I don't have any scaling right now, I don't want to launch a demo and like next day it crashes. Like I want to separate the concerns, so I will do another playtest where we will call it like server stress tests or something like that, where really people know like, okay, now we're gonna try to crash the servers. And yeah, so what else is there? Like I created a WebGL build because yeah, we are targeting PC, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, etc. But why not also just try to make it run in the browser, because that makes it possible to just give it to a friend and say like, hey, do you want to try it out? Give me feedback. And I already had like last year I tried it once, and the problem is like we have like a full-on like dedicated server running in Unity on your in the Unity instance, and I already had the thought that if I just exchange all the, it's a bit codey, await task delays with Unitask, it would run in the browser, and I was correct. So now I can just play it in the browser. still. And it works. So, never thought in the beginning it would be that easy, but it then just works. And my plan is to basically, I already have a build pipeline that builds every commit everyone does, because I'm tracking all the build sizes, and I can also do automatic benchmarks if I want to. And with the WebGL build, I can now do the following. Whenever someone works in a branch and says, oh, I added this cool feature, then I can just make a website on my infrastructure for each branch. So I can just say, okay, I'm just gonna try your version. I just open the URL, play his branch, test the feature, and then can already give feedback without having to check out the Git branch or like download an exe file, install it or whatever. Yeah, and now the last thing is, this is our current Steam capsule, and the team actually really likes it. It's like they say like, oh, it looks cool and so, but the problem is like, if you see that capsule, you don't know that it's a roguelike deck builder, and you most likely you click on that picture maybe if you think about like I don't know, normal RPG or something like that. Or but yeah, we now have a new picture that is just being worked on, and it looks like this. That's our new Steam capsule, coming soon. Yeah. Any questions? Or it's a random mix of topics I just threw at you. Yeah.
When do you guys have an idea of when that like server stress test kind of phase might be in the game's future?
I think it would probably be like the next month.
Okay.
Just because we have like we see still some problems in the core of the game that's in both single player and multiplayer, and we kind of want to validate with the players and see like, is the current version really that bad in this regards, or is that just like single opinions in the team? And we wanna check that with the community before we like rip out 20% of the game and redo it. Yeah. But like, and also the other thing is with co-op, we have the technical foundation that it works, but we feel like we want to add much more user experience to it. For example, right now, if you are like have a card reward and someone already picked the card and the other one still needs to pick the card, then the party leader doesn't have any visual information about that the other person is not finished with picking the card. He would then try to move on. Our server will reject it because it says like, yeah, your friend is still picking a card. But there's no user feedback for that. And there's like 100 of places where this happens, where it works fine when you are in a voice chat with your friend, but it doesn't work fine if you don't have any visual or like audio or chat communication with your partner. Yeah?
Is the campaign more mechanics oriented, or is it a story campaign?
Currently it's mostly what it is like the not story oriented, the other one.
The more mechanics.
Yeah, mechanics oriented.
Okay.
Yeah. We are planning on adding world building first before we open the, let's say like the box of story, because there's kind of the saying that if you have an awesome story, it is S tier, and if you have no story, it's A tier, and if you have a bad story, it's B tier. So like you basically create a worse illusion if you add story that's bad and boring, rather than just adding like world building that just makes the environment or the people you can meet like more interesting. But there's not like a start and the end, basically that's like story driven. Yeah.
And that is it for all of the oh god, almost just knocked over a class. That is it for all the public showcases. So thank y'all for joining us on the Twitch stream. It is time not to break some NDAs though. So make sure to come to Spelkollektivet. We love to meet y'all. Yeah. I need to figure out how to end this dang thing. There we go.